What's a spy story without incredible fashion, a healthy amount of unusual gadgets, a dash of slapstick comedy, and designer chairs? The World of Spy Family immerses audiences into a simple yet rich environment inspired by Cold War era spies who try to keep peace between their warring countries, all while wearing the best that mid-1900s fashion has to offer. Today, we'll be exploring the colorful fashion and design of each of the show's main characters, their influences, and what the beautifully designed chairs featured on the manga covers have to tell us about their personalities. So make sure to grab your cup because it's time to spill the anime tea. From Endo's many works, you can tell that he has a keen eye for fashion when it comes to his characters, always seeming to match the locations and era of wherever the characters happen to be set within. Spy Family's setting is a Cold War era Western European country. That's heavily reflected in the fashion and art in the series. Let's break down the world's most elusive spy, Twilight, and his penchant for three-piece suits. Because nothing says upper echelon spy man quite like a three-piece suit, slicked back hair, and a cold glare. When you think of spies, the first thing that comes to mind, the first thing that came to my mind was James Bond and the early trend-setting spy films of that era. Specifically the James Bond with Sean Connery, because in that film there is actually several scenes where Sean Connery is wearing a three-piece suit that is pretty similar to Twilight's. The kind of hidden messaging of three-piece suits is that they represent rationality, traditionalism, and seriousness, all three of which fits Twilight's personality to a T. Another interesting fact about three-piece suits, however, is that the fitted inner vest of the suit was actually used for pocket watches. When wristwatches became really popular in the time after World War II, there was no real use for the fitted vests anymore, and they were taken out. And now we know suits just to have a jacket and pants and an undershirt or tie or bow tie. So it says a lot about a character to specifically choose to wear a three-piece suit, especially when Twilight himself wears a watch. So there's no need for a pocket watch, therefore he is just choosing the style because that's his own personal taste. Another fun fact about Lloyd's outfit is that he wears a little gold lapel pin that actually is the name of his organization that he works for, which is WISE. We can't talk about fashion without mentioning everyone's favorite fashionable waifu, Yor, who Endo tends to draw in lots of different fashions, but let's break down her signature assassination outfit. In it, she wears a black halter top dress that is form-fitting, but towards the bottom kind of flares out in this kind of cape-like design. On top, she wears these halter straps that go across her neck, chest, and upper torso that kind of pull the entire outfit together and are kind of reminiscent of dominatrix outfits. The hint of red on the underside of Yor's dress represents the two sides of her life. The side she has to keep up for appearances with Lloyd and Anya and her day job, and her nighttime work of cleaning up the underbelly of the country to keep it safe. Of course, you can't ignore the gold accessories that she likes to keep on her, such as her headband, which has two gold roses at the ends, as well as two thorns sticking out, and her weapon of choice, which is also a thorn. That, coupled with her maiden name and code name, are all references to the fairy tale story of Little Briar Rose, also known as Sleeping Beauty, which follows the story of a girl who is cursed when she touches a sharp object and falls asleep only to be awakened by true love's kiss. No word yet if this will have any reference to Yor's actual story. Possibly Endo chose it just because Yor likes sharp objects and it's kind of a comedic approach to that fairy tale. Sometimes it's that simple, sometimes there's not a deeper meaning to every little thing in a story. Of course, I could not make this video without breaking down everyone's favorite peanut-loving best girl, Anya, and her adorable little outfit. The most important part of her outfit, and the most notable, is her two little horn-like adornments on each side of her head. This outfit, her hair, and most of her style actually comes from another character that Endo created, known as Rengoku no Ash, which is a story that follows a witch who is persecuted. It's a much darker, twisted story that I actually break down in another video that you can find up here. Just know that both characters share similar abilities. They have supernatural witch-like powers. Therefore, that's why they have these two little witch hats on each side of their head. Anya's golden black dress, which she wears as her school uniform for the School of Eden matches not only her hair adornments, but also the prestigiousness, is that a word? The prestige of Eden School. I also want to note out Anya's pink hair, which is very distinct, and some other references in anime of other anime characters with pink hair. There's a really big difference between certain anime characters with pink hair. For example, there's the yandere, mischievous, dangerous type of character like Yuno Gasai and Mirai Nikki, or 02 and Darling in the Franxx. But there's also the more bubbly, fun, kind of off-the-wall type characters like Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen, Chika Fujiwara from Kaguya-sama Love is War, and of course Anya in this case. But I think Anya kind of represents both sides. She has a really mischievous kind of dark humor personality caused by her psychic abilities to kind of know what everyone's thinking. But also she's just a bubbly, adorable little girl who wants to eat peanuts and go outside and have fun and have a family, which is shown in her actions. Since she loves action and entertainment and is the only one who knows the secrets of her adoptive parents, she ends up making choices that are often the most entertaining to her and therefore us, which makes for some great comedy in the series. Since Spy Family is so full of fashion, it's not surprising that they are also mentioned and involved in events of high fashion magazines and companies. For example, Yor is featured in a Dior fashion shoot where a popular flutist in Japan known as Kokomi did a kind of casual cosplay of her character. Endo also drew her in Yor's style, and she also did makeup looks inspired by Yor's character. There's also another notable fashion shoot where Spur magazine did a look inspired by the photo shoot scene in Spy Family. Inclusion of the little girl who has these little adornments that are kind of like two little red horns, and the big fluffy dog make it a fun nod to the series. Now I know what you're thinking. Phoenix, what about the chairs? You brought up the chairs. What do the chairs have to do with any of this? Well, the chairs are actually a super interesting part of Spy Family's story and tell us a lot about each of the characters. Since the Spy Family manga is mostly sold out everywhere, a lot of you guys should know what I'm talking about if you've seen the covers of the manga. On them, all of the characters so far have been featured on these really crazy looking, amazing chairs that actually have a lot of history. Being a now graduated design student myself, a lot of my art history classes actually had whole sections breaking down the history and design of these incredible, very specific chairs that are huge during the mid to late 1900s. Were also considered pieces of art. I have to give a huge shout out to Kim Morrissey, the contributor for Anime News Network, who broke down each of the chairs on the manga so far. I'm going to be referencing this article extensively, but if you want to learn more about the chairs, definitely check it out. I'll put it in the description down below. So let's start off again with everyone's favorite spy, Twilight, aka Lloyd Forger, who is seen sitting in a Lloyd Le Corbusier. I took 2 years of French and I am awful at it. It's also known as the LC2. As we all know, Twilight's fake name is Lloyd Forger, so the Lloyd Le Corbusier fits him perfectly, not only in name but also in body type, because this type of chair was specifically designed around the European male body standard of 6 foot tall men. It's also a pretty well produced, known chair. One of my favorite chairs and the most adorable chair on this list is Anya's Marshmallow Sofa. It's a rare sofa that was actually not as mass produced as the previous one that I mentioned, and that's because it was a customizable chair. Pillows were customizable, you can put different colors and things like that. But it was very well designed and beloved. The pastel colors that Endo chose specifically for Anya's Marshmallow Sofa fit her bubbly personality and often distracted mind very perfectly. And we have Yor's beautiful Le Chase chair, which is a very specific, specialized type of chair that won awards for its striking, stunning design, but not for its practical use. But since it's such a specialized and technicalized design, it matches Yor's apt assassination skills pretty perfectly, especially since it was known for its striking design, which matches Yor's favorite pastime of striking down her victims. Morrissey, in the article that I mentioned earlier, explains it best. They say that much like the chair she sits on, Yor is a specialist. She is elegant and stylish, but has difficulty fitting in with regular society because her job as an assassin is all she knows. There is a whole colorful cast of characters that I could break down, their chairs, their fashions, and everything in between, but we have yet to be introduced to some of the greatest in the story as of yet in the anime. But when they come out, and if you guys want another video, I'd be happy to break down all of the great, amazing stuff that I did for our main characters of the show, because this is actually pretty fun. It was fun to research and fun to look into. My name is Phoenix, and I dive into the world of visual storytelling in anime and sometimes manga on a weekly basis. I made a whole other video that you can watch up here where I break down the twisted and kind of unhinged origins that inspired Spy Family. So if you want to check that out, please do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!
Anya, かわいい？かわいいです、かわいいです。いい加減帰ってくんない？何回目だよ。